Well, first of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to Draymond. It's his birthday, and welcome to President Guskowitz, which would be a lot easier if you had a name like Izzo. It would be a lot easier to say, but his first day. So that's a good thing to start off on. After looking at the film from the last game, you know, there's no doubt we played a lot better. We accomplished some of the things we wanted to accomplish, which means didn't turn the ball over. We got some, I thought, good shots. We missed some shots inside that hurt us. I thought we rebounded pretty well. I thought we offensively rebounded better. As you do pick your poisons, foul trouble and the number of fouls was a problem, and their threes, you know, one guy that hadn't been shooting very well went 4 for 6, and the other one went 4 for 4, and that's 8 for 10, and that was probably costly, what doomed us. But at the same time, there were some things that I picked up from the game that I think we can build on. Wednesday is senior night. Never a good night for me, but it is senior night, which means it'll be an emotional night. And I'd say this publicly, that our crowds have been unbelievable throughout the year, even though we've been a little more up and down, they have not. And I would ask them to be as supportive this Wednesday, because it'll be a big game for us, not only because it's senior night, but a game we need to win against a team. And I think Chris, you can argue who's been the coach of the year. I mean, Matt deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. You could look at, you know, Brent Hoiberg has done a great job, Ben Johnson has done a great job, but I don't think anybody's done a better job than Chris has with his team. They've had our number the last couple of years, there's no question about that, and they've got, you know, if the big kid isn't, Edie isn't the player of the year, Boo Buie would probably be right there with him. He's been a tremendous guard. He's been, actually, if I wasn't playing him, he's fun to watch, because he's done what you hope college guys do. He's come in one way and he's leaving completely the other way. And I mean that in my own opinion. As a player, he's gotten better and better and better and better. He's gone from what was a little loose and wild to, I think, incredible. I think he has an incredible pace to the game, but his whole demeanor, his leadership. Again, I don't coach him every day, so I don't know all the things, but just witnessing what I could see on film or what I could see in person over the years, I think he's stuck to the process, and in all honesty, Chris has stuck with him, and he's become one of the premier players in our league. So you'll get to see, to me, one of the best guards in our league. Questions?
Hey Tom, you alluded to it, senior night coming up. Over this season, we've come back after games and had some tough conversations with you. We've shared in, but we had some huge celebrations, milestones for you, the program, personally, and all that. So leading up to Wednesday being the last home game, how do you reflect back on this season with where you have been as it relates to being here at the Breslin and the things that have been happening here?
Well, so far there's been a lot more personal goals. You know, AJ's 1,000 points and 500. Tyson, you know, there's been a lot more personal goals. My 700 wins than they have. They're all team goals to a certain extent, but I'd like to get into now the team stuff. But there's a lot we've all been through. There's a lot to celebrate. That this is the class that kind of came in during the COVID period, and hopefully we'll leave with something better than that. But yeah, I think as every senior night, you know, every player's met at the coach, and every coach has met at a player. And then you get to senior night and beyond, and you probably appreciate the players more than you thought you would when they're gone. And sometimes they probably appreciate the coach more than they do while they're in it. So it's one of those nights that is never easy. Of course, it gets a little harder for me because, you know, I have seen some growth in some guys. I'm really happy for Malik, who has been through a lot, both personally and injury-wise, since he's been here, and to see him come on like he has is awesome. And of course, when you have a son that is part of your team. But senior night this week is going to be about trying to win a game, and that's, to be honest with you, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris? I'm wondering, you mentioned about after the game needing the seniors to play better. I guess, can senior night, could that be kind of a trigger point for guys to kind of see maybe the light at the end of the tunnel, but also kind of realize, hey, this is dwindling, we need to snap together?
Yeah, I've seen senior night work in a million different ways, to be very honest with you, both as a coach and as a player. Sometimes it's an emotional night where it works the other way. You know, I've seen that not very often, but I've seen that a few times. But you kind of hope that everybody attacks today, tomorrow, and Wednesday with a little more vigor, a little more, this is my last chance to play in front of the Izzo, my last chance to play in front of the fans that have been so good. I mean, I'm not begging for anybody for support on Wednesday. I'm just telling you that when I look at other arenas and if people have a rough game or something, our fan base has been incredible. You know, we had spring break early this year, and we had a better packed gym than we have even most of the time. So I hope our players look at it that way. They should. And then you always, you know, there's something about your last game that those memories usually last a little longer. So I don't know how they'll take it. That's all I'd take if I was them. It's not my last game, so I don't know, but it's the last game for those guys. I know I'll feel for them, how they'll feel. I'm 90% sure we'll be that way. Hopefully it'll be motivating, but I'm just saying sometimes, you know, you get that build up and then you say, wow, you know, this is it. And there's another part of you emotionally that goes the other way.
You played this game when there's been a lot on the line, like the Big Ten championship, and you got a few where there's sort of still, you know, got work to do situations. How does that dynamic change the vibe this week? And a lot of times it's been a weekend game too. That's it, and now you got one more on it. Like it seems like you're at a different place in the season with so much more on the mind than a lot of other.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. You know, usually we played mostly our last home games been on the weekend. It seems like for the last 4 or 5 years, but that should have no bearing on it. But you're right. We played for championships, and we played a few times to help get us into the tournament. You know, I mean, there's no question. I mean, we know where we're at. We know that wins are important at this time of year, and you know, that's the way we're going to approach it. Deal with the white elephant, not bring more. The elephant shouldn't weigh more. We should just deal with the elephant, and that's what we're going to try to do. Is realize that. Listen, if we play our best basketball, I think we have a lot of games still left to win. That has been the disappointing part for me as the leader, and that's the part I got to own up to. I thought we played pretty well in the last game. In a lot of ways, we did the things we wanted to do. You know, sometimes people are going to get hot. Sometimes you're going to get cold. Sometimes officiating is going to make a difference. But for the most part, I said it in the first huddle, and I said it in the last huddle in that game. I asked them to play at a different level as far as how hard we played, rebounding, and physicalness. We did all those things. I think to a level where I honestly look at, we could have won a few more games if we would have played at that level. In saying that, some of those losses we've had, Minnesota, maybe Iowa, you know, you still got to make layups, you got to make free throws. You know, here we go 15 for 17 or 17 for 19, whatever we were, we missed 2 free throws. So that plays a part in it sometimes. But the effort, the energy, the focus in a setting because of Gene Katie, because of what Purdue is doing, because they had a chance to win a championship at home. I thought our guys played extremely hard, extremely focused. I did think we missed some shots that we need to make if we're gonna put short shots and things if we're gonna move on.
Now, speaking of those short shots, it seems like AJ's had a lot of them that are good shots for him, and he just can't get him to fall through stretches. How have you seen him kind of deal with that, and how do you get past that?
Well, I think he's just gonna spend more time on it, working on it more. You know, I mean, there's some shots. You know, guys are funny. You know, it's everybody wants to work on the 3-point shot. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, you walk in there and I mean, Marty's working on his 15-foot shot. You know, okay, that's cool, but you need to work on the shots you're going to get in a game. And AJ does get a lot of those because he can get by people and he's strong enough to get in there. And so I think you have to work on the shots that you get in a game more than the other shots. You know, I've been telling that to Carson Cooper, and you know he's got to work on those hook shots, missing too many of those easy shots. So that was my advice to AJ yesterday. It'll be my advice today. You know, work on game situation shots and the ones you're gonna get. You work on your 3 for hours and hours and hours. I mean, people do, and they get 2 threes a game. What are we doing? You know, it's work on the shots you're gonna get in the game, and I think that's gonna be my advice to him, and I think he'll do that.
Tom, do you get the sense or think that this team thinks that they can sort of flip a switch? Because when you look at the season, when there's been some big opportunities, they have kind of risen to a different, like a Baylor, Illinois, even Saturday, you know, they saw a big target and sort of rose up for played at a different level. Do you think that they can kind of flip a switch for big moments like this week?
You know, I'm not sure you ever flip a switch. I mean, if you're that way, that would be really disappointing to me, and I'd hope to the team, even though I sort of agree with you on when you see, but I keep saying, you know, we've let media, fans, TV people talk about the Big Ten like it's not very good. When we won 13 out of those 17 games, and I think 2 of them for sure, you know, were free throws, Illinois down there and Minnesota up there. We beat some good teams. We won some games on the road. It just, people didn't realize how good they were. Nobody thought anything of Nebraska, you know. I mean, there was a game we could have, should have won, and nobody thinks anything of those. So I don't know if it's flip a switch. I mean, it is disappointing to me that we don't seem to get up for every game. You know, when I get a coach effort or coach toughness, that is disappointing, and I feel like I've harped on that a little more than normal. But at the same time, we have proven we've gotten up for, I guess, what we all call big games, whether it be Arizona, whether it be Baylor, you know, those teams. I mean, I went so far back as I went and looked at our Tennessee game last night. I still think we could have played 3 teams. We still may have played 3 teams that are going to be all 1 seeds, you know, and every one of those games went down to the wire. So that's kind of where this team could be and probably should be. Why it's not, there's a variety of reasons, and I have to take accountability for most of them. But there does have to be something from within, you know, and I think they know what's on the line. I think they know. I did think they were ready to play in an environment. You know, my assistants came in and said, guys seem excited but a little nervous, and I said, great, because I think sometimes we're too cocky. We think we you know, we're at Michigan State, we're just going to win games. It doesn't work that way. So I actually like nervousness, and I think you know, they should be nervous but excited. That's the way I look at it.
You talk about not making the elephant any bigger than it already is. How do you address the elephant when you talk about
Oh, it's been addressed for weeks. You know, I'm not one of those guys that You know, guy doesn't make free throws. You know, I don't go in there and say, "Come on, Johnny. You know, just make it. Don't worry about mentally that you'll be great. Make the damn free throw. You know, work on it, make it, address it." And I've always been a guy that confronted it. So it's been confronted. It's been talked about, but I've done that 2-3 times in the last couple of years. Sometimes I'm confronting a chance to win the Big Ten championship. Whatever it is, I apologize to the players that have played here, but you know, I'm not into that. Hey, don't put too much pressure on them. I'm into the, why did you come here? And if you don't want to pressure, you picked a bad school. You know, you picked a bad place. That's your fault, not mine. But if you come here, you know, this is the level you're expected to play at. This is the things you're expected to play for. And I love that. I'm not changing till the day I walk out of here. So if a guy's not making free throws, work on it harder. You know, still got to hold him accountable. If a guy's not making his threes, you know what? I'm not. Don't worry, Billy. They'll come. You know, they'll get better. Somebody will fall down from the sky, and all of a sudden sprinkle some fairy dust on you, and everything's good. You know, it's not my style. My style is, hey guys, we haven't played well enough. Just like I said before the Iowa game, guys. Contrary to what everybody's telling you, we won 13 out of 17 games. And we played pretty well in most of those games. And I think the league didn't get any credit, so, and we got off to a sluggish start, which we deserved all that criticism. No issue there either. And that's why I said, it's just like I say to myself, I have to take responsibility if my team doesn't play as good as they can play, and I don't hide behind that elephant either. And that is a big white elephant, because there's 600,000 small elephants that are kind of putting it to me, and I really wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, whether you believe that or not, it's like I stated to my team the other day. You know, somebody said, well, if somebody's mad or gets mad in the huddle or gets mad on, you know, for me, I love that. Then I know that it matters. It's when I don't know that it matters that frustrates me. I can deal with the consequences of somebody losing it a little bit or this or that. As long as I know that it's the most important thing in the world, I'm cool with it.
Time for a couple more.
I believe this will be the furthest apart that you repeated an opponent. So just how have they changed? Obviously Barry is gone now.
Yeah, Barry's gone. You know, the rest of them I think will all be there. But you know, I think they've changed. We've changed. You know, I just think Boo Buie has been the difference. He's had an MVP year. I mean, he really has. You know, it's just Edie is so good. I don't know how that'll plan out, but if as far as Bowie, just kind of putting him on his shoulders, he's done an incredible job. Sometimes he has to score more, sometimes he has to pass more. But I think they've gotten Martinelli is playing better than he was definitely when we played him early. He's been a big difference too. He's just a kid that plays so hard and gets a lot done, and I think that's really helped him. The Langborn kid is better, but he was pretty good that night. So I think Bowie just kind of taking everybody on his shoulders and in different ways, different games, doing different things to help his team win. And that's why I think Chris deserves a lot of credit too. I mean, if not for Madden and Edie, I mean, Coach of the Year and Player of the Year could be in Northwestern.
Tom, this always comes up in the COVID era senior days. So your fourth year guys, fifth year, is that to be decided after the season?
Yeah, that's right. We have one more COVID year.
Last one.
I try to eliminate that. It's one of the dumber things we've ever done. But understand it. But yeah, I think for the most part, you know, some of these guys, senior day is tear-jerking for the coach. I think for the players, it's a day of adulation, you know, everybody's. So I think some of these guys like to have 2 or 3 of them, you know. In fact, in some places now, we might have 4 or 5 of them. I mean, why the hell we should play till we're 30? But you know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the way I look at it, my seniors are seniors this year from everything I know, but if 1 or 2 have opportunities, that'll be addressed after the year.
Anything else?
Is it taking it light? Well, enjoy senior day, I know I will.
So.